Hey there, I'm Russ Murphy from Indiana Avenue Baptist Church with your daily devotional. You know, in working with senior adults, I've heard it said many times, where someone will say, Russ, when I was younger, I did this for our church and did that. But now that I'm older, I can no longer do that, so I don't feel very useful to the Lord. And of course, I disagree with that. I believe any age you are, God can use you. Psalm 92:14 says, growing in grace, they shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be full of spiritual vitality. I was singing in a town in Kentucky not long ago, and while I was there, I was getting a sound check before the concert about an hour ahead of time. Nobody's there except me and the sound man. And about this time, an older lady walked in, came using a walker, sat on the second row, and she began to watch me and hear me do my sound check. After one song, she says, are you a preacher? And I said, well, yes, ma'am, I am. I sing, but I also preach. She said, ain't nothing wrong with that. I said, well, thank you. And then I got some more sound checks, another song or two. And then she said, are you a minister? And I said, yes, ma'am, I'm a minister. I surely am. She said, ain't nothing wrong with that. I said, thank you. And then I had another break. And she said, are you a Baptist? And I said, well, yes, ma'am, I am a Baptist. She said, I used to be a Baptist. And I said, oh boy, there's a story there. And I said, well, what happened? And the Lord talked to my heart and he said, now, don't interrupt her. Let her tell her story. There's gonna be some things you might not agree with, but she's gonna teach you something if you'll just let her. And she said, I was 30 years old, now she was 80. And I'd been saved for a long time, but I just didn't feel the Holy Spirit really using me or touching my heart. So one day in the cotton field, I just asked God, touch my life like you've never done before. And she said, I fell down on the ground and began to shake and all that. And of course, the Lord said, Russ, don't say a thing. Just let her tell her story. And she said, after that, I've been told 3 or 4 times by doctors that I only had a short time to live. And every time the Lord healed me and helped me through that. And then she said, I'm not going to stay for your concert. I said, oh, that's fine. Because I was starting at 9:15 and she had to be home by 9:30. And so anyway, during the concert, I started and she stayed. And about 9:45, she was still there. At about 10 o'clock, she's still there. 10:15, 10:30, she's still there. And a horrible thought went through my mind. I said, somebody will check her. Maybe she died, but she didn't. And as soon as the concert was over, she came up to me and said, I got to talk to you. I got to talk to you. Well, I was going back to the table with my CDs and stuff to be with folks back there. She said, you go and take care of your business, but I've got to talk to you. This is part 1. And I'll tell you something. When I got through speaking with the people there, she put her walker in front of me and said some things that just really touched my heart. And I'll tell you about that tomorrow in part 2.